Good morning, directors. I'd like to call the January 8, 2025 inaugural meeting of the Electoral Area Services Committee to order. And the first order of business is to elect a chair for 2025. And so if I could call for nominations, please. Director Mooney.
I would like to nominate Director Wally.
Director Wally has been nominated. Director Wally, will you accept that nomination?
I do, thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there further nominations for the position of chair? For the third and last time, any further nominations for position of chair? Hearing none, we'll declare Director Wally elected as chair for 2025 and proceed with election of vice chair. And may I call for nominations, please? Director Mooney.
Thank you. I would like to nominate Director Vanesh for Vice Chair.
Director Vanesh has been nominated. Director Vanesh, do you accept that nomination?
I do, thank you.
Thank you. Any further nominations for vice chair? Third and last time, hearing none, declare Director Vanesh elected as vice chair for 2025. Thank you very much. And we'll now turn over the meeting to your new chair.
First of all, I acknowledge that we're located on the traditional territory of the Lashwitach people, and the next order of business will be the adoption of the public agenda.
Move adoption of the agenda.
Second.
Thank you. Nothing further. Call the question. All those in favor of adoption? That is carried. No petitions or delegations this morning. H, adoption of minutes. First of all, for Electoral Area Service Committee.
I'll move adoption of the minutes of the special meeting of the East meeting held on December 11th to be adopted as presented.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion there? All those in favor? That's carried. And then item B, please.
I'll move that the minutes of the special budget meeting of the Electoral Area Committee held on December 12th, 2024 be adopted as presented.
Second.
Thank you. Anything there? Nothing? All those in favor? And that is carried. Any business arising? Seeing none? No chair report this morning. Staff reports. The development permit application for Baracco for receipt.
Move receipt.
Seconder, please.
Second.
Thank you, Director Mooney.
Staff will speak to this, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Development variance permit application DV3D24 has been received for 61 McGimpsey Road in Electoral Area D to vary the size of a proposed accessory building from the allowable 50 square meters to 103.67 square meters, which is 53.67 square meters greater than that permitted by bylaw number 1404. The parcel zoned residential 3 is 0.84 acres in size and is bounded by R3 zoned properties to the northeast, south, and west. The land use designation of the surrounding area in the Oyster Bay Buttle Lake OCP is residential. The property is currently developed with a 39.66 square meter shop. The applicant is proposing to demolish the existing accessory building, which is in poor condition, and replace it with a 103.67 square meter accessory building. This would allow for greater storage in conjunction with the proponent's principal residential use of the adjoining parcel to the south and to assist with maintenance of the property in question. While all zones in the Campbell River Area zoning bylaw allow for buildings and structures accessory to the permitted use of a parcel, bylaw 1404 specifies that siting of an accessory parcel where no principal residential building exists is permitted, provided that the building is no greater than 50 square meters and is used for the storage of goods and materials owned by the property owner. As the principal residential use is located on the adjoining property and the proposed accessory building size is greater than the allowable 50 square meters, a development variance permit is required. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything from directors? On receipt then, all those in favor? And that is carried. Director Rice, like to make a motion?
Yes, I'd like to move that the committee recommend that the development variance permit, DV 3D24, as presented in the staff report dated January 8th, 2025, be approved.
Second.
Thank you, Director Winnie. Any discussion? See none, all those in favor? That is carried. Schedule of committee meetings for 2025 for receipt.
Move receipt of the report.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion here? Director Winnie?
Thank you, Chair. I would like to request, and I don't know if we need to move, that the March 12th meeting on that schedule be scheduled for March 11th instead. Do I need to make it as a motion?
May I suggest after receipt? May I suggest after receipt of the report, then that is an appropriate motion. After the report is received.
After receipt.
Just make a motion after receipt.
Okay,
Right.
that's what I was asking, is if I needed to do that.
Okay, not a problem for anybody, so on receipt then, all those in favor? That's carried. Director Winnie?
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to move that the March 12th meeting of the Electoral Area Services Committee meeting be scheduled for March 11th.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
You could,
I'm sorry.
are you going to say you could combine that with B if you wanted?
Oh, okay, that's what I should do? Okay. I was just wondering if I needed to give an explanation for my reasoning for that, or,
So, Mr. Chairman, my understanding, the director wishes to make a change. I would suggest adopting the schedule as presented with the change of March the 12th to March the 11th. Something like that would be, and
Oh,
and
okay.
encapsulate it in one motion.
great, okay.
Go ahead, Director Winnie.
So can I amend that motion? Is that what I need to do?
Just
Amend the
start
motion?
again. It wasn't
Oh,
seconded
okay.
anyway.
Oh, I thought Director Vanesh seconded it.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Okay, so I would like to move that we adopt the proposed 2025 meeting schedule for the Electoral Area Services Committee as attached to the January 3rd, 2025 report, with an amendment that the March 12th meeting be scheduled for March 11th.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, all in favor?
Could I,
And that is carried. Bylaws. Number one, bylaw 157, liquid waste management planning service for receipt.
Move receipt.
Got a seconder?
Second.
Thank you. Staff?
Staff's happy to speak to this if the directors want, but there's a couple options here available for splitting up the liquid waste management planning service. I do remember that I believe the directors were looking for an option that didn't have to go out to referendum to create two new services, and so we've provided those within the report.
Director Rice?
Just a question for staff. I think Director Vanesh is in agreement with me that we would like to probably move option B. But can you explain the amount of money that's remaining? My understanding is the money that was there was to be used jointly by both B and D. So how would that work in terms of splitting that money up?
So, Mr. Chairman, the money that currently exists was contributed jointly. It doesn't necessarily have to be used for, and never has been, as far as I'm aware, used for projects that benefited both areas at the same time. So in terms of what the province is recommending is that we keep the existing service in place until that money has been spent, whether it's spent in Area D or Area B or both. Once it's spent, then there's no problem with having that service any further.
So again, if I understood correctly, we can't move with separate services until the money is spent?
No, that's not my understanding.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I think it is possible to do a negative requisition if that is the wish of the directors. I think there are some options there to explore,
Right.
and we could certainly provide details regarding those if that's of interest.
Okay. Again, I think that if we go with option B, we would like to know, how would we dispose of the funds?
And if I can, Mr. Chair, so if you move option B, then we'll come back with a report giving some options on, like Tom says, we could return the funds. We can, we'll preview the options about what to do. Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, how much money is in that?
I think 28,000.
Okay, that'd make a difference on your budget if you return the funds to the taxpayers. Director Vanesh.
Thank you, Chair. I'm in agreement here with Director Rice, and I'd like to move that bylaw number 157 be abandoned and the regional district consider the creation of 2 new liquid waste management services, each with its own establishing bylaw to independently address a single participant service. And
Yeah, we're on receipt for a moment there, Director Vanesh.
sorry.
As soon as we finish, you can make that motion. Okay, on receipt then, I'll call a question. All those in favor? And that's carried, so Director Vanesh, go ahead and make your motion.
Thank you. I'll move that bylaw number 157 be abandoned and the regional district consider the creation of 2 new liquid waste management services, each with its own establishing bylaw to independently address a single participant service, and come back with some options for how the current funds in the bylaw be split or spent.
Second.
Thank you. Anything further? All those in favor? And that is carried. Number 2, bylaw 585, electoral area D zoning amendments receipt.
Move receipt.
Second.
Thank you.
And planning staff will speak to this.
Good morning. Thank you. I'm presenting an application for an Area D bylaw amendment, RZ 7D24, which proposes to rezone 4214 Chanterelle Way from Country Residential 4 to Country Residential 3 to facilitate a 2-lot subdivision in the future. Each lot proposed as 1 hectare in area. The subject property has a land use designation of country residential, and the proposal is consistent with the Area D official community plan strategy to maintain the country residential community and the OCP policies. The country residential designation supports estate-sized lots of 0.4 hectares to 2.0 hectares in area. And to provide context, there are properties adjacent to the subject property that are also suburban in nature and zoned CR4, CR2, and RU1. The property has a single dwelling unit and accessory building currently on the north side, which will remain in place. There is also an environmentally sensitive area shown on the SRD mapping that will require analysis by a qualified environmental professional, and that will take place at time of subdivision. Area D Advisory Planning Commission provided support for the rezoning of 4214 Chanterelle Way from CR4 to CR3, and should the application be forwarded to the regional board for consideration, public notification will be carried out. And as the application is consistent with the OCP, a public hearing is prohibited in accordance with the Local Government Act. Thank you. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Anything from directors? Seeing none then, on receipt, all those in favor? And that is carried. Got a motion, Director Rice?
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to move option B, that as notice will be given in accordance with section 467, paragraph 1 of the LGA, the committee recommend that bylaw number 585 be forwarded to the board for first 3 readings and adoption.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion? All those in favor? That is carried. No correspondence, director's reports, new business, addendum items closed for termination. Please, a motion.
Move termination.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you, everybody.
Shortest meeting ever.
Right? Speedy.